find your locus of control. Are you an internal or are you an external? There is no right or wrong, but there are general characteristics of an internal locus versus an external. For example, somebody who has externalizes the locus of control, they believe that everything that happens because of fate, God, powerful others, their boss, their supervisor, etc. Somebody with an internal locus of control believes that things are within their power. Okay, so if I told you that to do a PhD you need to be intelligent, right? Now you have a perception of yourself and you say, well, I'm not that intelligent, so I will never do a PhD. Okay, because I have externalized the locus of control for your PhD. I'm telling you right now that intelligence is what would guarantee success or failure, if you're not intelligent, for your PhD. So when people say to me, how intelligent do I have to be to do a PhD? I say, why are you even asking me that question? You're here with a master's degree, or you've done a first degree and you've got a first class honors. Why are you asking me how? And there's different kinds of intelligence. So we're talking about academic intelligence. I don't even want to discuss academic intelligence with you. What I want to discuss is tenacity, because tenacity is on the internal. It's one of the internal elements, if you like. If we were to characterize, where would it be? If I say I'm tenacious, you can build tenacity. You can also build intelligence, but generally speaking, intelligence, people perceive it, academic intelligence, they perceive it to be a fixed. You either are intelligent or you're not intelligent. And I say PhD has nothing to do with intelligence. What it has to do has to do with tenacity and putting in place the right mechanisms to allow you to complete a piece of research, because that's what a PhD is. If we think about what is a PhD, it's an apprenticeship to be a great researcher. And when we realize what a PhD is, okay, it's doctor of philosophy. Yes, we philosophize and we debate and we have theses and all the rest of it, but effectively it's an apprenticeship. So you have chosen to do an apprenticeship to be a researcher. The beauty of your apprenticeship is that you also have chosen where that apprenticeship lies. Never forget that. Never forget that by the end of your PhD, closer to the end of your PhD, part-time or not, you are the ultimate expert. At that moment where you pass your viva, there will be no other expert in this world that knows more about your topic. And that's both a responsibility and a wonderful feeling. And why I say at that moment, because one day later, somebody might be publishing something very, very close. So you have to, to stay as an expert in an area, you have to continue doing the work and researching. But at that moment, I think nobody can debate that you will be the expert. So find your general locus of control and then think of your PhD and where your locus of control is. And if you are an external, it works beautifully for short-term things. So if you had an accident and really it was your fault because you weren't looking where you were going, as an external, you say, well, it was fate, and you don't depress about it. But external is great for short-term, but PhD, especially for part-time, is long-term. So find ways to make sure that you say to yourself, my locus of control, as far as my part-time PhD is concerned, is internal. Really believe it. Find the belief and keep on repeating it to yourself. Whatever you want to achieve, make sure that you say out loud and say it to others. And here, this brings me to this point. How do I motivate myself? And how do I motivate myself? And I will ask you that question shortly. But things about self-discipline and self-belief. I really believe that when I say something to others, I commit. Because I don't know much, but this thing I know. All our wealth, everything that we build in this life, we're not going to take with us. Okay? If there is an afterlife, if there isn't any afterlife, who cares? But if there is an afterlife, possibly what we will take with us is the knowledge and everything that we've done, the experiences. I hope. I don't know. So I'm not a betting man, but I put my bets on doing the things that are likely to take with me. We know that nobody can take with them their gold. We found pharaohs in their graves and they got all the stuff, all the wealth. But we don't know what happens to the experiences that we gain. So my approach to life is, okay, if I want to do something, whatever that is, do I want to become the best barbecue chef, right? I'm going to take measurements, but I'm also going to say to myself, I'm going to become the best barbecue chef, okay? Do I want to finish the PhD? I'm going to say to myself, as often as I need to, that I can do this. I've got this. I'm going to finish it. And you repeat it. And if you repeat it out loud, trust me, it works. You think you're crazy. If you asked me 10, 20 years ago, I'd probably tell you I didn't believe in all this. It's not even mysticism. It's a little technique. Call it the placebo effect. Nobody has explained the placebo effect yet. And then the placebo effect works. And we have medical cases where people believing that they're going to be okay, or believing in powerful others actually works. Here's the external locus of control now. So find the right balance between internal and external and use it. As far as self-discipline goes, I'm one of the worst people to have self-discipline. And here's my trick. What I say to myself, if I want to achieve something, I externalize it and I say, for example, I'll give you a recent example. My work is so demanding that sometimes I can't even find that 1 hour to do exercise. So what I say to myself, so now replace the exercise with 1 hour of writing, okay, for your PhD. Your family, your job, all these others that are demanding your time. What I say to myself is this: you will not steal my 1 hour of exercise. You will not steal my 1 hour of writing. So I externalize it in a way that I feel that if I don't do it, it has been stolen by somebody, and I will not let anybody steal that is mine. And time is absolutely yours, right? That's the only thing we have. It's time. It's very limited time that we have, but it is yours, and you can choose and you can prioritize. So if you find a system where you say, okay, that works for me, might not work for you, okay? But you will find your own way of saying, how do I say? And it doesn't have to be an hour. Folks, it can be half an hour. It can even be 15 minutes. The key here is consistency, because to sustain yourself for so many years, you have to think back and say, what did I achieve in the previous years? And can I continue to maintain the self-discipline? So now I'm asking you, how do you motivate yourself? Give me your hints and tips, and hopefully will help others. What's your top tip for motivation for your PhD? I've got 3 chocolates over here. That's a brilliant tip. Cover Netflix. No. Forget Netflix, forget TV, forget YouTube. Stubbornness. Yeah, I love that. So if we take chocolate, Netflix, a kappa, and and what else? All of these rewards. Okay, so you got a reward system. This is great. Create your own reward system, whatever it works. Brilliant. So here we've got a big goal, right? I want to get my PhD completed in 4.5 years. And here what we have is also breaking it down on small steps. And that's a brilliant, brilliant goal. And remember, your PhD by default has those milestones. You have chapters, and your supervisors will help you and to focus on those chapters. And a lot of your meetings are to then tackle smaller steps within those chapters. So you got to remind yourself that every time you achieve something, write it down. Okay, this week, this is what I achieved. This month this is what I achieved. Create a tick box exercise. Yeah, game. What's the word? Gamify your PhD. Okay, if you think about how all the cookie clickers of the world, make your PhD a cookie clicker, because our brain likes the rewards. Okay, so find systems where you create rewards. Great tips. Disney. Okay, time bound, 4.5 years, small steps. Thank you very much for the best friend, which is another thing I've got on my notes. You need to find those best friends, husband, wife, partner, cousin, mother, father, the relative that whoever you trust, that you can tell them where you are and commit to them as well.